Hello, welcome to Cooking, Creating, and Conversation. In today's video, I'll be taking this glass jar that I got from Dollar Tree and turning it into a flower pot. So, this was just, like I said, a glass jar that I found at Dollar Tree, and I really liked the pattern, diamond pattern that was on there. So I decided to see what I can do to make this a flower pot. So what I used was just some regular alcohol, and I rubbed it down to make sure everything was clean on there. I have some colored acrylic paints that I'm going to be using. This is a moonbeam color. This is stardust. And I have a stargazer blue. So I'm not sure how I'm going to use this combination of colors just yet, but we'll see how those work out. I also have my glue gun. So I've already cleaned the jar off, and I'm going to use my glue gun to make just some random dots of glue on the jar. I'm not going in any particular order, just putting them random on there. I decided to use the glue gun for this part because it dries quicker, but you can also use puffy paint to put the dots on there. That'll be fine to use too. But this was something I decided to use the glue gun just because it would dry a little bit quicker on here, and I can see how it comes out. So it's not in any particular order. I'm just making little dots in between the diamond shapes, just randomly on the glass jar. I pray that everybody was having a good day today. It is a blessing that God allows us to wake up to see a new day. Now see here, I got some that's kind of dripping off, but that's the good thing about the hot glue, is you can pull it right off. If you don't like how it's on there, it comes right off. And even the little flyaway pieces, I can just pull them off. This one dried a little like drippy on there. So I'm going to pull this piece off right here, because I don't like how that piece was set on there. So I'm going to pull some of that off. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So I started doing some of the other sides too, just to give you an idea of how it looks all the way around. So I'm going to go over and pull all the little flyaway pieces of hot glue off of there, so there's not any hanging pieces on there, and they pull right off. So I can have a little, almost like little dots all the way across there. Pull off the extra. I'm going to put a couple more on this side here. Y'all, just recently I went to the Hobby Lobby, and I think I fell in love. It was my first time being at a Hobby Lobby, and there was so much stuff in there, so many different things that you can use to create new things with. I think that's probably going to be my second favorite store. My first is the Dollar Tree. They have come up a little bit with their crafts selections. So a lot of stuff that I use for my crafts I get from the Dollar Tree. cheap way to make something new. Take something old and make it new. That's it. Make it your own. That's the fun thing about creating. You can make it how you see it to be, how you want it. So after I pulled all these extra little flyaways off of here, now I'm going to take some paint and paint over it. Now see, they're dry already. It doesn't take long for the hot glue to dry on there. And it sticks pretty well too. I pulled those pieces off, but I really kind of had to pull to get them off of there. So you don't worry about them falling off easy once you get them on. So I think I'm going to start with this darker color. It's called Glitter Burst paint. It's got little color sprinkles in it. Almost like glitter. See the inside of that? Looks like glitter. I thought that would be pretty to put on there. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit in my plate here. And then I'm going to use a bigger brush and take it and paint across the top. And we're going to see how it looks. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Now see, this is kind of a light color, and I would like for it to be darker to coat it on there. So what I'm going to do is find a darker color blue. This is almost like a clear coat, and I would like for it to be a little darker. So I'm going to go find me a darker color blue, and I'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm back. So I went and got a darker color blue, and this is a acrylic paint too. This I actually got from the Dollar Tree. This other paint, I picked this up at Menards. Of course, it costed a little bit more, but I liked it, the different kind of glitter and stuff that was inside it. But this you can find at the Dollar Tree. So this is a little bit, this one's a darker blue. So I'm going to use this one because the other one was a little bit not too light. So I'm going, oh yeah, that's how I wanted it. So I'm going to go over it with this darker color blue. And paint it all the way around, covering the jar. And I'll probably have to go over it a couple of times just to kind of make sure it gets well coated and it's all in between those grooves on the jar. So I'll probably use a couple of coats to cover this. Doing crafts has become a very relaxing hobby for me lately. And I get to make some fun things. So I'm going to go over this a few times. And you'll notice when you buy these paints, it doesn't really look like there's a lot of it inside the jars. It looks like a small bottle, but you really don't need a lot. You really don't have to use a lot of paint. So it covers a lot. And kind of wait till I do the bottom because I'll have to sit it down. You know what? Maybe I could put it upside down to let it dry. I'm gonna go over it a couple of times. If you have young children at home, it doesn't even really have to be young children. Painting can be a very relaxing thing for them to do to keep them calm. I know it's relaxing for me. So you see it's getting darker and darker. The more coats I put on it, paint it all the way up to the top. If you don't like to get messy, because painting can be a little messy, you can always wear gloves when you're doing this. But the paint does wash off. It does wash off. After I put a couple of coats on it, I'm going to use what's called a podge. And that's going to be my clear sealant. That's going to help to hold the paint on here. Okay, guys, I'm going to put a couple of coats on this, let it dry, and then we'll see what we're going to do next. So now that this has dried some, it's not completely dried, but now that the blue has dried on there, I decided I'm going to take some of this, this is called Glitter Burst paint. And I'm going to go, oh no, it's called Moonbeam. Glitter Burst Moonbeam. I'm going to take some of this and then go over the top of the blue that I had on here. Kind of give it a silver effect on here. So I'm hoping when this dries, you'll see kind of some of the glitter flakes within the blue. It probably will stick a little better if I let it dry a little more. But sometimes with crafts, you gotta have a little patience when we see the finished product. So I'm just gonna go over this whole container with this moonbeam color. So you got some of them strands from the glue. So I can kind of go over that. And I am using a smaller brush than the brush I had before. This one's a little bit lighter brush. And kind of put like a liberal amount on here. And it doesn't have to be neat because I kind of want to see some of those streaks in here. It's almost giving it like a seaside effect on here. It looks like the ocean to me. A little more. And you don't have to buy jars. You know, I got this one because I like the design on it. Because that's the fun thing about creating too. You can use an old spaghetti jar, an old spaghetti sauce jar, or old jelly jar. any kind of glass jar that you have. Put some glue going on it, take the labels off, and voila. You got kind of a base for a jar that you can make into anything. Lots of free, I say, material that you can get when you reuse something. I'm gonna go over this whole jar. I'm gonna finish painting this, letting it dry some, and then I'll be back. Hey everybody, so I'm still letting the paint dry, but what I decided to do was I found these diamond confetti pieces that I had, and these I did get from Hobby Lobby in the wedding section. They were 50% off and I just couldn't resist getting them. So I decided that I was going to add some of these to the jar. So what I'm going to use is E6000 glue, and this I purchased from Family Dollar, and I think it was only like $3 or $4, but this holds really well. It doesn't take quite as long to dry as craft glue, but this it holds. It's awesome for holding things on there. So if you want something that's gonna dry a little bit quicker than regular glue and it has a really good hold, then this E6000 glue will be good for you to use. So I'm just gonna take some of these gems and just kind of randomly place them on here. Or if you wanted, you could use the hot glue gun as well. I decided not to use the hot glue gun just because the paint wasn't completely all the way dry. But if it was, then I would use the hot glue gun for this, because that dries quick. That dries pretty fast too. So I'm just going to randomly place these gems all around. And then I'm going to let it completely dry before I move to the next step. And the next step will be to seal this. I'm going to cover it all with Mod Podge, and that's going to help to set the paint and give some more hold to the the rhinestones that I've added on here. I'm really liking how this is turning out. It's kind of looking, to me, it's kind of looking like a mermaid tail with the gems and the blue and the silver. I'm gonna add some more of these all the way around. So I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'm going to add the podge. This comes in different sizes. They do have the really, really small ones at Dollar Tree, but they also have bigger size ones. Now this is a gloss, which means when I put it on, it's still going to keep the shine. They do have this in matte, if you would like to use the matte kind. This bottle I did get at Target, but I did find out later they have this same 16-ounce bottle at Walmart for cheaper. So if you're looking for something to seal your crafts with, you can get it for a cheaper price at Walmart. I'm going to finish adding these rhinestones to it. I'm going to let it dry, add the Mod Podge to seal it, and then I'll show you guys how it comes out. Hello everybody. So I decided to take more of these diamond confettis, and I put them all around. I took some of the E6000 glue and I glued them all around the top of the jar. Now you could put maybe a ribbon or some pearls. I just decided to put more of the confetti diamonds across the top. Now it's not completely dry, but I'll let it dry and then add the coat of the Mod Podge. And then I'll show you guys the finished project when it's dry. Show you the finished product. Well, everybody, this is the finished product. I had some lilies, yellow lilies, that I also purchased these from the dollar store. I just cut the stems on them down to size so that they would fit inside the jar. And I'm really excited and happy about how this DIY turned out. I'm really excited about this one. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of cooking, creating, and conversation. And I hope this gives you a little creative tickle to create some DIYs of your own. It was fun. It was relaxing. Until next time, God bless. Bye, everyone.